right, let's talk about the 10 career mindsets real quick. The first one is active. So you got to have an active mindset. What I mean by active is you got to be a self-starter. That's why we start with it. I've talked about it multiple times already, but you've got to be willing to put in the work and be a self-starter and be self-motivated. If you're not going to go anywhere. So if you don't start with an active mindset, you're not going to get very far when it comes to our program. Next is having a diligent mindset. That means you got to be not only a hard worker, but you got to be willing to wait for the results. Being diligent is knowing that it's a grind at times. You know that you're going to have to really, really work hard, put your head down, do the work, but also you realize that it's going to take time to see the results. And this is big today because we're all so impatient. We have little patience. We want instant satisfaction, and it doesn't work that way. Not when it comes to this, not when it comes to careers. It takes time, and you can't expect to be promoted in 2 months once you graduate college. It just doesn't work that way. What you got to do is put in the work and be diligent and wait for the results. Along with that is tenacity, which is the third mindset. You got to be tenacious. You got to fight in the face of adversity. And I got news for you. You're going to see a lot of adversity. There's going to be a lot of brick walls put up. There's going to be a lot of hurdles you're going to have to jump over. But you have to be willing to keep fighting and to keep going no matter what. Number 4 is realistic. You've got to be realistic in the goals that you set. Listen, I'm a big believer in stretch goals and goals that put you above and beyond what you think you can achieve. But going too far is not going to do you any good. So make sure that you're setting realistic goals for yourself, that your aspirations are realistic. If they're not, you're not going to go very far, and all you're going to get is disappointment. Next is intuitive. We want you to have that intuitive mindset, that intrinsic type of thinking. Move inward, as I say a lot. You want to focus on your intrinsic motivations, what it is that you're naturally fired up about, naturally good at. You want to be able to think intrinsically with that intuitive type of mindset. Going with your gut is another way to put it. Next is a progressive mindset, and what I mean by progressive is be willing to grow. And in order to be willing to grow, you got to be vulnerable. And vulnerability gets a bad rap out there, but it's a great thing. If you're willing to step outside your comfort zone and be courageous and be brave, amazing things will happen. And then the adaptive mindset is all about embracing change. So this world that we live in today, our society, is extremely fast-paced, and it's always, always, always changing. You've got to be willing to adapt to that change. If you don't, you'll get left behind in a heartbeat. And then you want to have an assertive mindset. We're on number 8. So the assertive mindset is one to where you're not waiting to be told what to do. You're not waiting for your parents to say, this is what you should major in, this is where you should go to college, and this is what you should do for a career. You need to have an assertive mindset that says, nope, I make that call. This is my choice, this is my life, and this is the decision I'm going to make. And then next, along with assertiveness, number 9 is you got to have an accountable mindset, which means, okay, if you're willing to make the decisions on your own, which you should, and have that assertiveness, you got to be willing to own those decisions and be accountable to them. It all sits with you. This is a decision that I made, and I'm going to live with it. So you got to hold yourself accountable throughout the entire process. And then the last mindset is optimistic. You got to be a positive person. You got to see the world and your career as a glass half full, not as half empty. Negative people can get ahead, but it's not nearly as common as positive people. Positivity leads to success. And the great thing about these 10 career mindsets, why we believe in them so much, is that it leads to these traits that just are built for success, which are purpose, pride, perseverance, confidence, fulfillment, courage, flexibility, decisiveness, responsibility, and positivity. Those all just ring of success. They just smell of success. And those are the building blocks of success and satisfaction in a career. So if you adopt those mindsets, those 10 mindsets, these are what you're going to get out of them. These are the traits you're going to be, and they're going to be inherent to you. And no employer in the world would not love to have a person that exhibits all of those traits that I just mentioned. They're a recipe for success. people will be begging to hire you if you exude what these mindsets lead to.